there, my name is Angus Wright, and I also go by AngusByDesign, and I am the creator and curator of a Facebook group called RAP in Canada, and our international community of practice with the hashtag person first. And so basically I operate that as a Facebook page, and I've invited people from all over Canada to participate and to join, and it's open to a greater international community of practice who have an interest in supporting and getting to know Canada, or in being engaged in a way that perhaps the Wellness Recovery Action Plan hasn't experienced yet. So if you're not familiar with RAP, it was co-created and co-founded in community, but it started from the work of Mary Ellen Copeland, and it really started from her own personal lived experience. And so through that, she developed some questions, some research, some ideas, and in the 90s, she was invited to present her information as a keynote speaker. And in 1997, the 5 key concepts: hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, and support were brought out. And so the result was a person-to-person curriculum in order to help guide people to their inner wisdom and knowledge, and self-awareness, and develop self-awareness into the things that made them strong, made them resilient, that they could consider, that they could do in the short term, the long term, how they could communicate their needs and advocate for who they are. And so that's called the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And in 2016, Mary Ellen Copeland sold her rights to her material. She retired, and the rights were picked up by the Advocates for Human Potential. And so since recently, the curriculum, the material, the updates have all started to roll out, and now we're under they're under the care of the Advocates for Human Potential. So with virtual and in-person trainings available for people all over the world. So having said that, that's what the group is sort of initially about, but much like RAP, it's not a specific program, right? It's a format to incorporate other programs, and there are many of those available now, and many of them co-created by people in our personal lineage, people in our personal histories of peer support, volunteering, being of service to others, showing up, community organizing, etc., etc., etc. Having said that, I have the wonderful opportunity to know a fellow named Seth Pearson. And Seth is, as you can see, a rising contributor to the community, and Seth is the first moderator for the group, largely because I believe that we always make things better when we co-create them and when we are able to co-facilitate and collaborate. So the invitation is that we're going to grow that. So stay tuned, and also feel free to step up and speak up to how you'd like to contribute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Seth's post, and then I'm going to go and check out his YouTube message and see what he has to say in that, and then I'll continue my presentation as part of my practice and seeing if this is something that works for me, and see if it works for my greater community. So we'll see how this goes. So this morning, 3 hours ago, Seth says, "Happy Self-Care Saturday, folks. Let's make it amazing. Need a little boost or some extra motivation? Check out my morning inspiration video for today." Emoji, emoji, emoji. I think it's a smile and maybe a party. and a heart. Sometimes taking on new experiences or challenges can be scary. As humans, we strive for comfort because it is what we like and what we're comfortable with. However, what would happen if we start to move beyond that comfort and start exploring new things, new challenges, and new experiences? Let's explore the power of the comfort zone and ways to move through it and beyond it. Inside this video, there is a quote and lesson for the day, 2 songs of the day, affirmations, and a journal prompt too. Check them out below. Quote, "It's important to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and be challenged with something you're not familiar with or accustomed to. That challenge will allow you to see what you can do." J.R. Martinez. Song for the day, Comfort Zone by Marvin, Sapp. Song for the day, Rise Up by Imagine Dragons. And affirmations, I will embrace discomfort as a sign of growth and evolution. I am resilient in the face of challenges. I am open to new experiences that bring growth. And the journal prompt and invitation is, what is one thing you can do or experience today that is different from your usual routine? Ooh, that is a big bite, and but very exciting. So let's go over to Seth's YouTube channel, and you can find it by visiting YouTube and looking for Success with Seth. And so this was posted on the 17th of May 2025, and you're going to be with me as I'm the first viewer today, so that's amazing. And so Seth shares, sometimes taking on new experiences or challenges can be very scary. As humans, we strive for comfort because it is what we like and feel comfortable with. However, what would happen if we start to move beyond that comfort and start exploring new things, new challenges, and new experiences? Let's explore the power of the comfort zone and ways to move through it and beyond it. So we're going to be sharing this together. Let's check it out.
Well, good morning, my friends. What is up? It's your friend and pal Seth. My pronouns are he and they. I want to welcome you to the morning inspiration video for today. For keeping track, it is day number 17. Cannot believe it. Absolutely amazing. So, I hope you're doing well. You're making it a fantastic day so far. You're choosing to make it a fantastic day. And if you find that you're needing just a little bit of a boost this morning, if you're needing a little bit of some motivation, then this video is for you. Okay, I hope it helps you to feel at least 1% better. Okay, today. So, these morning videos, they include 4 things. They include a morning quote and or lesson. This video will include both. They include a song for the day, and today this video includes 2, because I have 2 choices, some affirmations, and then also a journal prompt as well. So, as you know, we talk about, kind of taking control of our own wellness and taking control of our recovery, taking control of, what matters in our life and what we need and what we don't need in our lives to help us feel better. Take what you can from this video. Okay, if it's a quote that you need, if it's a lesson, if it's a song that you need, if it's some affirmations, is it a journal prompt, whatever it is. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this video for today. So I want to talk about something today that is really, really powerful and very, very important, but it's also something that I find. This, again, I'm speaking from my own experience, because, again, we only speak from our own experience, that something that it was always very, very difficult for me to do, but as I started doing it more, again, I know this is cryptic, again, as I started doing it more, it felt a bit more comfortable, and it tested me also a lot. I know, again, very cryptic. So, Seth, let's get into what we're talking about today. Okay, let's do it. So, we're going to talk today about that lovely and illustrious and comfortable comfort zone. Who in here has one? Who here loves theirs? I know I do. Let's talk about that comfort zone. But first, before we go into a little bit of a lesson about the comfort zone and actually moving beyond the comfort zone and getting through our zones, let's start with a quote. Okay, this quote is by J.R. Martinez, and J.R. Martinez says, "It's important to be able to step outside your comfort zone and be challenged with something you're not familiar or accustomed to. That challenge will allow you to see what you can do." Let's go through it one more time. It's important to be able to step outside your comfort zone and be challenged with something you're not familiar with or accustomed to. This challenge will allow you to see what you can do. J.R. Martinez. Isn't that a deep quote? Pretty much. So, in essence, what he's saying is when we're able to kind of step outside of that comfort zone and we have all this stuff out here that we may not like or we may not feel comfortable with, that's where we find what we truly can do. That's where the magic happens. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture and it has a circle on it and an arrow point. It says your comfort zone. And then it has another circle on it outside of that circle and it says your comfort zone. And it says where the magic happens. And that's, I honestly really believe that's true. But it's interesting because when you think of the comfort zone, there's not, the question would be, is there more than one comfort zone? And the interesting thing is I've done like a lot of research on this, I've done, just a lot of experience that I've had. And the one thing that I find that's interesting is there is more than one zone. There is the comfort zone, yeah. But guess what? There's also the fear zone. This is where, there's things that we know we have to do, and we know that we want to do. It's kind of outside that comfort zone. But we let excuses, limiting beliefs, all of that crap stop us from moving forward. That's the fear zone. And then we have the learning zone, okay, where we start learning a little bit more kind of about ourselves, right? Or we start taking more chances in order to start learning things that will kind of help us to get out of our comfort zone. And then we have the growth zone, right? This is where we're taking on those challenges and we're learning those lessons and we start growing inside of our personal development. Now, as I'm kind of talking about this, what you'll eventually kind of see happen is a mindset shift begins to happen. Your mindset goes from something that I know we've talked about mindset, in the side of these morning videos, and we're going to be talking about it a lot more. But we go from a mindset that is very fixed and very closed. Again, comfort zone. We're comfortable. We're not expanding. We're not doing much. We're just staying there. Right? Fear zone. Again, we have those limiting beliefs. We have everything, that comes in there that's stopping us. That's not allowing us to move forward. Again, it's fixed or closed. But then the learning starts to happen. And then the growth begins to happen. So again, that's more of an open and growth mindset. So again, there's this huge mindset shift that really starts to take hold and take place. When we start to move out of, the comfort zone and everything and start moving more into like a learning zone and a growth zone. Now, I'm not going to say this can happen overnight or this is easy or anything. I mean, I know from my personal experience, I've had a lot of years of trauma and I've had a lot of things that have pulled me back and that a lot of things that I have pretty much let say, just hold me back and have enabled me to actually not move forward at all in my life. And there are still some parts of my life where I'm just like, nope, I'm going to stay here, or someone gives me a challenge to do and I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this, but maybe I can try. It's pushing a little bit past that fear zone and trying to do it, right? Like, for example, I have, I'm a singer, Okay, I was a singing fool. I would sing literally all of the time. Once, when my mother passed away back in 2013, I stopped singing. I pretty much just stopped singing. I stopped, performing. I pretty much stopped all of that. And it's one of those things where it's like I'm trying to push past my fear of singing in public, of just singing in general, because when my mom died, I felt like, I turned into this kind of shell of a person that, because I didn't have my mom with me, I can't do anything in a way, So it's been very interesting. I've been trying to kind of challenge myself a little bit to number one, sing more. But I actually had even recorded a video of myself singing a song that I had sung maybe 13 years prior, interestingly enough, and kind of, seeing how my voice changed and everything. So again, it was something scary as anything, but it's something I think also kind of to help me grow and help me to be just a little bit more comfortable. I am starting to get just a little bit more comfortable. So anyway, so I just wanted to kind of give that example and everything. So again, we got the comfort zone, the fear zone, learning zone, growth zone. What we have is a mindset shift begins to happen within the midst of those. All right. So let's go to the songs for today. And I have two options actually today. I have one song, it's called Comfort Zone by Marvin Sapp. Okay. Now with this song, Marvin is talking about kind of getting out of that comfort zone, but talking about God. So talking pretty much saying about God often challenges us to move beyond our comfort zones, leading us to experience a new thing in our lives. This can be a process of transformation, growth, and realignment, again, with God's purpose. So in this song, it comes from the place of God is giving him things, God is encouraging you to get out of that comfort zone and trust in him. Right? So, and again, I know not everyone can relate to the religious aspect of that. So I have another choice here, and this is called "Rise Up" by Imagine Dragons. Okay, this song, again, it's not something that's more religious, but again, this song is again just talking about rising up to face all of our troubles, dealing with themes regarding empowerment, hope, and success. Okay, so again, there are two options there for you. Again, the one by Marvin Sapp, again, it's taking, moving forward and getting out of that comfort zone and everything through with God's help. So it has a more religious tone to it. The one by Imagine Dragons does not. All right. So if you'd like to listen to both, if you'd like to listen to either one, whichever one fits more with you. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of just give those options there. All right. So let's go into our affirmations. Okay, we've been talking about comfort zone, getting out of the comfort zone and everything, and how sometimes that can be very difficult. So I'm hoping that these affirmations that we're going to talk about, they kind of help you a little bit. All right, so let's go into them. So I embrace discomfort as a sign of growth and evolution. I am resilient in the face of challenges. And I am open to new experiences that bring growth. Let's go through them again. I embrace discomfort as a sign of growth and evolution. I am resilient in the face of challenges. And I am open to new experiences that bring growth. See how those sit with you for this morning. Okay. Now I know, again, sometimes getting out of that comfort zone can be very difficult. Affirmations may be something that may help. So also thinking about that, what are some more affirmations you can use today and every day in order to help you to move forward and kind of through those zones? And I'm not talking about AutoZone, through the zones. Okay. So let's move into our journal prompt, because again, what I'm talking about can be kind of a little overwhelming. It's like, I want to stay in my comfort zone. I don't want to get out into any of those zones, Seth. You're talking too big here. And I understand that. Okay, I truly, truly do understand that. So as a journal prompt, let's start small. What is one thing that you can do or experience today that is different from your usual routine? For example, let's say you have a specific route that you take to go to work, or a specific route that you take to go to the grocery store, or whatever it is. Could you change up that route just a little bit? Could you maybe, instead of turning left, you turn right, and then maybe go around a bend or something, and have to, as my mom would say, bang a U-hangy? In other words, make a U-turn. So that's how my mom used to call it. Or if you have a certain route that you take, maybe on a walk or something that you do each day, could you maybe instead of turning right, maybe turn left or something? Or instead of turning right, whatever it is, maybe like go straight or something, So again, that's just one little thing. Or something as simple as, let's say you go and get the mail, right? Let's go and say you go get the mail, or go and get the post at a certain time every single day. Okay. Maybe what if you waited maybe 5 minutes, maybe even 2 minutes? Again, it's something that is small. Okay. So what is one thing that you can do or experience that is maybe a little bit different from your usual routine? So again, that's about just starting small. All right. So contemplate that. Think about that for today. All right. So that'll about do it for your morning inspiration video for today, about the comfort zone, that fear zone, the learning zone, the growth zone, all of our zones. All right. So before I sign off, again, just to look at the little ticker on the bottom. Don't quit before the miracle happens. Never, ever quit. Okay? You are worth it. You are amazing. Keep finding ways to keep moving forward. All right? So, again, as I said, that'll about do it. Okay? I hope you make it a fantastic, fantastic rest of your day. Stay positive. Stay motivated. Stay focused on your big, humongous, and amazing dreams and goals. Okay? The bigger you set your dreams and goals, sometimes it may be the scarier that they are. But again, that scary helps you to kind of help you to move forward and get past the comfort zone. Just a little tip there. All right. Make it a fantastic, fantastic day. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next morning inspiration video. Thank you so much. Take care.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, the next part of this is that Seth and I, we co-facilitate, we co-create, we share in community of practice. We engage with each other, where we check in with each other, and we're taking a look back at programming that our community co-created over a year ago. And this is based on material that I had prepared as part of my personal practice, but also as part of the ongoing service that I provide to communities that experience mental health, addictions, recovery, who are on a path to becoming specialized, and in communities that want to strengthen their voices. And so Seth is somebody that I also get the pleasure of mentoring as well. So what I want to do is I'm going to, as a next step to this, is present the material. And I'm going to call this the Dharma Talks, which is my practice. And I'm calling it Comfort Zone and Rise Up. And it's going to be inspired by what I just saw. And I'll try to tie that in with Seth's video for today, because we generally have a daily practice, and the days that we're not connecting, we're perfectly happy to not be connecting, but we know that we'll see each other in practice again, but we're very reachable and we do other stuff. So my name is Angus Wright. I also go by AngusByDesign, and my pronouns are they and he. I'm connecting from my second home, space out in the woods, and a highlight from my weekend has been just getting set up and nested in, but also getting reacquainted and seeing friends that I haven't seen since the end of last season. 3 colors that could describe how I feel include green, because I'm loving how summer is filling in trees and bushes and grass. And also, I'll say pink and blue, because I find that they're a great combination and they look really comforting together. If I were to give words of encouragement to people listening or watching this, it's just to say, there's something extraordinary about us, but there's nothing extraordinary about us in the sense that we're just on our own paths, and our paths, we link arms and we support other people on their paths. So if anything resonates with you, please feel free to reach out in a meaningful way. And I love virtual tools. I love sharing, and I love any opportunity to increase our voices and choices when it comes to connecting and developing our voice from where we are. So Affirming Rainbow Peers is a group that I created for the environment in Virginia, and a series of 5 peer centers that focus on providing boots to ground, basic safety net, social support, virtual support, peer support, wellness and recovery support. And they do an amazing job. So what I do is I bring in the virtual aspect, where we can look at it from the lens of engaging and practicing new tools, maybe getting acquainted with digital supports, but it's also an opportunity where we create a safety net for people to talk about things. And the Affirming Rainbow Peers group was based on a workshop that I had presented to peers in person, that was talking about how, as peer supporters, as people providing peer service, can we provide an identities affirming approach. So looking at that the rainbow isn't just attached to gay and lesbians, that non-binary, they pronouns, pronouns are not just attached to the rainbow community or the gay community or what have you. We really practice unconditional high regard and holding each other accountable to the values and ethics of peer support and being a good person and just adhering to the law, and but also just exploring and being able to check in with ourselves, because oftentimes, right, we have things to learn too, and so it's just creating a safe space. So we invite people to share their quotes and comments and experiences in the chat box. We invite them to join our circle of practice as we share an environment for workshopping strategies, for providing identities affirming peer support experiences, and we share discussion prompts and open the space as it shows up. So we'll share space to balance our story and hearing others share in their excellence and experience. So we always leave room at the end for feedback and evaluations, and we ask people to consider participating to include their voice in our community of practice. And then Seth often scribes in the chat box and tries to capture things that people are sharing with us as a way of supporting. So we focus on what's strong, not what's wrong. And we share a practice where we share songs for inspiration, we check in, we share our perspectives, we have a topic that we go by, and we check out with each other. So our community of practice, we essentially have been serving the community with the same group titles for quite some time. That's on purpose. And I say that because what it does is it helps to reduce the changes that people will experience as they're maybe leaving and revisiting groups. So tranquil voices, becoming our own superhero, achieving well-being, the joys of discovery, affirming rainbow pillars, healing circle, creative expressions, pathways to resilience, a journey of strength, circle of wellness, facing and overcoming loneliness with our stories, and the ABCs of recovery have all become integrated languages that are intentional mindsets that we can incorporate into our experiences together, just as ways to reflect. We support ourselves and each other with virtual courtesy, with reminders that we're going to come up with a safety agreement and a safety action plan before we roll into the meat and potatoes of the group. The safety agreement and action plan involves ways that we can keep the safe and respectful space, because we're there to really be peers with each other. There's no hierarchy. It's confidential. So, often when we're vulnerable, we might overshare. So just not being precious about what someone shares, recognizing that we're journaling out loud sometimes, so there's no final edits. Sharing is voluntary and about ourselves, so we encourage people to use I statements. One person shares at a time to avoid speaking over each other. And then we practice on Zoom, so we mute when we're not speaking. We're mindful of video. There's no requirement to be on camera, but it does support people into getting to take a look at who's in the room. And the chat box, so we're just mindful of things that we might share. And then if there's anything to add to this, please feel free to use the prompts the group can support me by, and I can support myself as well by. And again, looking at what's strong, not what's wrong. Trusting ourselves, right?
There may not be, as much humanity in the world as one would like to see, but there is some. There's more than one would think. In any case, if you break faith with what you know, that's a betrayal of many, 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 many people. I may know 6 people, but that's enough. Love has never been a popular movement, and no one's ever wanted really to be free. The world is held together, really it is held together, by the love and the passion of very few people. Otherwise, of course, you can despair. Walk down the street of any city, any afternoon, and look around you. What you gotta remember is what you're looking at is also you. Everyone you're looking at is also you. You could be that person. You could be that monster. You could be that cop. And you're to decide in yourself not to be.
So that is James Baldwin. Love has never been a popular movement, and I will post a link to that YouTube video that's with that quote. Other quotes to reflect on are: when you choose yourself first, you choose the world. When you choose yourself first, you show the world what you truly deserve. And that is Demon. Instead of waiting to be chosen, choose yourself every single time. In life, in love, in business, and in the relationships. And what is self-love? Loving myself. So self-acceptance, capitalize on your strengths, accept your limitations, ask yourself, what am I good at? Self-care. How can I care for myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually? And compassion for self. So stop negative self-talk and allow yourself to be human. Ask yourself, what am I thankful for? And in the center of all that is self-love. So these are just, again, concepts, right? I like to use the cognitive behavioral therapy tool Catch, Check, Change. And I also love the 5 key concepts, which I've already shared. And then also the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Association often talks about the multi-dimensions of what we can consider in wellness. And so we can consider paths like emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, financial, occupational, and social. So these are just ideas. More quotes and thoughts to reflect on. So I used to rebel by destroying myself, but realized that's awfully convenient to the world. For some of us, our best revolt is self-preservation. Trees are incredible, and flowers are absolutely mind-boggling when you stop to think about it. Sunlight, what a strange and wonderful concept. Earth is seriously blowing my mind today. Sometimes you've got to die a little inside in order to be reborn and rise again as a stronger and wiser version of you, just like the phoenix. And that's Rainbow Life quotes. And then cycle of life. Begin, life is good. Separation, leave community. Shock, coming apart. Rest and rebirth, coming together. Impatience, integration, return to community. Return a changed person. Gifts shared, expanded life. And inside the circle, the top says ordinary world, life familiar, comfortable, and below death, unfamiliar, chaos, non-ordinary world. So again, just things to think about.
Maybe the hardest part is if you teach, you have to live your teaching. You can't say you do not as I do, but do as I say. No. You have to say, I'm doing my best to live what I teach.
And I'll pause that there. And so, 2 other quotes from Maya Angelou. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Try to be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. Do not complain. Make every effort to change things you do not like. If you cannot make a change, change the way you've been thinking. You might find a new solution. And I am convinced that courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you cannot practice any other virtue consistently. You can be kind for a while. You can be generous for a while. You can be just for a while, or merciful for a while, even loving for a while. But it is only with courage that you can be persistently and insistently kind and generous and fair. And so, I statements, and these can be complete statements. I know, I see, I speak, I love, I do, I feel, I am. So, what do you know? What do you see? What do you speak about? What do you love? What do you do? And what do you feel? And then, what describes your complete self? So things that we can reflect on is I have the right to. So I have the right to include myself. And just for today, I'm thankful and I'm kind to every living thing. Something I can do for myself today is get outside, go for a walk, enjoy the day. And I plan to do just that. I love the ability to communicate and to learn. And again, I just really am so moved and empowered by what we can do together in community. So how is this experience if you witnessed this video on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is not helpful and 5 is very helpful? How was it? What was the relevance of the material in your life, and what was the potential of discussion like? Even thinking of the discussions we have with ourselves, and what was it like to experience Seth and to experience me? In your own words, you might reflect on, think about, or write about the most helpful part, and what is the most important thing that you may have learned from yourself or others. What's a comment you'd like to make about the experience today? And if there's something you're thankful for, or your action plan, feel free to reflect on that and share it if it's meaningful. For me, I would say it's 5s across the board. I am so thankful for all of these opportunities and the material, because it's stuff we're reviewing. It's so relevant, and I think it's so timely too. The discussions I have even with myself as a result of this practice, and the presentations I'm able to make, really help fulfill me and to make me feel stronger in even my own voice. The most helpful part is having access, and the most important thing I learned about myself and others is that we just get to do every little bit as we can do it. And a comment I'd like to make about the experience is I'm so thankful for Seth and for the effort that he's putting in, not only to himself, but to his community and his passion. And my action plan for today is to make some eggs and toast and good food and eat that. So thank you, everybody. I'm Angus Wright. I'm a certified peer specialist. I'm also an advanced level facilitator of the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, trained and supported by the Advocates for Human Potential. And I'm a certified well-being mentor, having certified with the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery initially in 2022, just before they decided to turn over to the standards and practices within their own system, and then using and highlighting the Taking Action curriculum. So I support all paths to wellness and recovery and personal development, and I'm Angus by Design online. If you go to AngusByDesign.com, you'll find my journaling there, and my email is also readily available, Angus@AngusByDesign.com. I only respond to things that resonate with me and that are meaningful, and that support my personal practice. So please be patient and mindful of that when reaching out. Thank you, everybody.